Wednesday, 28th of December 2023. In this evening's show, we catch up on a couple of home wins against Forest Green in the FA Cup and Bristol Rovers 3-1 in our last home game. And we round off this festive show with a Boxing Day bag of shite at Burton, where the Pool failed to register a single shot on target against the lowly Brewers. I'm John Aspinall, and this is the Seaside's podcast, match reaction show. Burton 1, Blackpool 0.
With a great tradition.
Good evening, everybody. Festive podcast. Welcome back, everyone on the stream. Raggy, just unmute your mic while I'm doing this ramble. Just Tim and Raggy on this evening. Nick has decided to dump us and spend his evening in the company with a couple of elderly in-law relatives over a meal. No doubt it'll be two meals.
He'll probably enjoy it more than dissecting Burton, to be fair, won't he?
Fair enough. Hard to argue with that.
We have spoken in the green room about the need to consume some alcohol before doing this one. Now, whether Raggy's joining us, he's not come out of the closet yet. Oh, go on, Raggy.
Well, listen, when you drink vodka and Red Bull as you drink, you can't do it at home as well as when you're out, or I'll be dead. I only drink it when I'm out of the house.
Tim, I was showing Raggy one of my Christmas presents this year, a dimpled old school pint glass.
I think he's pinched it from the thatch, Tim.
Coronation Street from the Rovers return, that.
Percy, lad.
Albert Tatlock.
You are showing your vintage there, Tim.
I am definitely showing my vintage, I think. Apologies to the younger listeners and viewers.
There's not many actually in our demographic, to be honest. It's more sort of people our age. I was checking our stats the other day.
Well, it's good that you mentioned soap operas. Like we were just talking about bread with the Boswell brothers, our assistants at the minute, Joey and Billy Boswell. But we'll get on to them.
Yes, boss. Yes, boss. Did you say boss? Right, we've got a bit to catch up on since the last pod. Forest Green Rovers. I've just put FGR down with the kids on that banner. Forest Green Rovers in the FA Cup. Tim, you couldn't be asked going. Me and Mr. Magazzino attended, as did three other podcast members. We were all sat in a row. Myself, Nick, Mitch, and the Grice Reaper all enjoyed each other's company in Block L of the West. Shame you couldn't join us, Sakir. Pressing engagement, was it?
No, apathy. Yeah, I'm struggling at the moment. I'll be honest. I think, was it on the last podcast I said I booked to go away for the first time ever without even looking at the fixtures. For reasons I'm not going to go into on here, I'd actually booked to go away today. I didn't even think about games, and we'll come into it as to why I'm feeling like that. But I just didn't. To be fair, I thought it was going to be on telly as well, and then I got home from work, having driven past everything. I thought, oh shit, it's not. So actually, if I'd realised that, I might have gone. But I was doing a bus and staying at home with the crackers and a glass of red wine.
Bit too cold for you as well. That's too cold for bus these days, isn't it?
Well, I was working till about 7:15, and when I got home, Mrs. said to me, she said, I'll go upstairs so you can watch the football. And I went to flick it on and realised, shit.
Yeah, but if you're going to follow, if you're going to follow in the bus's footsteps, you have to put a 10 o'clock at night rant on as well. With more emojis than exist.
No, Raggy, it's inappropriate use of double quotes, littered with double quotes
everywhere.
Have you told him about that, Tim? Why does he do it?
I think it's generally something to do with coming home from the pub, and so trying to challenge Ashley over that probably isn't something that is going to get you very far. So it's a little bit like trying to challenge Neil over his 3-5-2 system. It ain't going to get anywhere. So I just tend to leave it.
Has anyone listened to his press conference today, by the way? We want to have a
I've
possession
heard
Ashley's
some
or
people do.
Critchley's?
Yeah.
Actually, I say Ashley's or Critchley's.
Yeah.
I heard something. To be honest, it sort of blends into one at the moment, and it's all sort of comes across as like excuse. But the reality is, and we'll discuss it a little bit more. I think we need to discuss it after Burton, really. But we keep doing the same thing.
Forest Green Rovers, though, I think the highlight of this game for me, my vantage point in the West, I was privy to Neil Critchley's body language and interactions with the crowd, and he was not a happy chappy, because there was 2 or 3 people sort of near us were booing every time, not every time, but when we were on the right hand side and then playing it back to the centre halves, then back to the keeper. There's quite a few moans, groans, and boos, and he got really agitated by that. And he was like staring and doing sarcastic clapping. He even spat on the ground once, at one point. But he wasn't happy basically about us going backwards. And to be fair, I was with him on that, because we were just keeping the ball. I know this is a very hot potato at the moment, but we were just keeping possession of the ball. But he wasn't happy about that. And it was quite interesting to see his reaction to that. But the game itself, I think it was just a professional job done. So Tim, were you going to say something?
No, I was just going to say he's probably not used. There's probably a few of the Southies and even a few of the North who got into M Block and whatever, because it was the same price, wasn't it? So you've probably got a slightly more animated crowd in there. So I'm not dissing the M Block, but the demographic is going to be slightly different to the people who are probably in there for Forest Green Rovers. So he's probably hearing a bit more choice language than he's used to hearing from behind him. That was the point I was going to make. Equally, I thought we did the job. I thought we got, we in the cup competitions this year, we don't seem to have the same problems we've got in league games, do we? We seem to be able to turn up against teams who are, how should we put it, lower than us. Let's just say lower than us in the league, and actually turn on a performance and actually get the result that we need, which is to be compared and contrasted with what happens in the league, where we seem to really struggle against teams below us.
Something to put on its head, Raggy. Dave Jenkins just said FGR were a poor professional team, as I've seen. It's pretty hard to argue with that, weren't it? They were.
Yeah, well, they looked it, but I think Tim's right. Seemingly in every cup competition this year, every time we supposedly should beat a team, we do at a reasonable canter. And then we just go up against, I don't know, similarly able teams in the league and don't do it, particularly away from home. I don't know. We played Bromley away, didn't we? I was going to say we played all our cup games at home, but we haven't. We did a professional job at Bromley as well, didn't we? We looked comfortable.
Yeah, I think generally in the cup this year we've looked. I think we've looked professional, and generally it's not been the best team, has it? So we've tended to rest a few players, so it's not generally been what you would say would be our automatic starting 11. And I think every game we've played in the cup, we've looked comfortable. It doesn't matter whether it's the Mickey Mouse Cup or the FA Cup, whoever it is, we've looked like we're always the team who's going to win the game. I'm sure it's going to come up stuck at Forest.
Maybe there's some. Well, maybe there's something in that changing the team though as well. Maybe there's something. I don't know. We all question it every time, don't we? Thinking about it last day or two since all that rubbish at Burton. I don't know whether the players are good enough. I don't know whether we think they are. We think they're a better standard than they are. Convinced ourselves we've got one of the best teams in the division. Maybe we haven't. Don't know. Because obviously we'll move to Burton, but they're taking some blame for that, them players. They weren't at it. They're turning up, no matter what Critchley does, they're turning up against teams that are supposedly inferior to them. Less experienced players not doing it. Something's wrong. It can't all be down to owner, manager. The players need to get the finger out as well.
Maybe time for a chat in the change rooms, Raggy.
I don't think much good came of it last time. In honesty, I think it just caused carnage. But I don't mind a bit of that now.
It was. My tongue was firmly planted in my cheek.
Yeah. I won't be advocating for that just yet. Maybe when the shadow board comes to fruition.
Ooh.
Let's not go there, ladies. Okay, actually, just before we move on to Blackpool Bristol Rovers, let's just address this funny quip from Phil Hornby. Evening, I hope you all on fire tonight.
Oh, yeah. It's funny that, because as soon as someone said it to me, I said, "Where the top? No chance." That's all I said, and I was at the.
What's going to combust up there?
I know, that's what I said. I was at the village going swimming, and there was a couple of other lads there as well who all said the same thing. No chance. Anyway, turns out it wasn't. Some funny little clips knocking about though with
some funny memes.
People.
Well, I can see that I've got a dormer extension on the top of our house, so it's pointing all out. It's quite high. You can actually see Blackpool Tower from the window. So I was up in it with Eddie or something. I can't see any smoke. Can you? Because it was on Sky News, front page of Sky News, front page of BBC, Blackpool Tower on fire. And I was squinting. He's got a telescope. I was having a look through that. I was like, I can't see anything. And the little video clips have come back, and it's like a piece of, I don't know what it is, safety barrier. Tangerine, obviously, as well.
Yeah.
I've got to say, when I first saw it, I thought it was on fire, but it was like a quick glance, because I was been over to Chester today. I was driving back, so we're in some slow traffic. Maybe shouldn't have done, but I had a quick look, and I thought, oh, good shit, and then I saw these messages come through. It's a false alarm, it's a hoax, whatever. But yeah, it's quite amusing, isn't it, really?
I'm not sure if I don't know what's caused it. I don't know if it was a hoax, as in thing, because there's one or two people I know that were down on the prom who said it looked from there like it was.
Yeah, the video I saw looked like it was. To be fair,
Yeah.
I've got to say, but I didn't scrutinise it. I just had a quick look. I thought, bloody hell, it's on fire.
Man, I did have somebody say to me, "Oh, it's on the BBC. It's on the BBC News, so it must be true." I said, "Dear me, I hope you don't base your whole life around that. If it's on the BBC, it must be true."
Dear, oh dear. Bit of excitement for today. Certainly wasn't any excitement at the Pirelli Stadium, whatever it's called these days. Anyway, in between that, we've had Blackpool 3, Bristol Rovers 1. Tim, joined you in the Moretti sauna pre-match for this one.
Yeah,
I've been violently ill.
Still not enough tables or chairs, is there?
No.
I keep digging at them every time I go in. Where are they? But I don't think you should. To be honest, I don't think you should sell the seats. If you can't seat people up there, you shouldn't sell the seats. You should limit it until you can. End of. But
I didn't even get a pie at half time. There is small print on the pie vouchers. I was waiting until
you can get a seat in the Armfield free of charge, gentlemen.
Yeah.
See, that's a schoolboy error. The first thing I did when I saw how busy it was procure my half-time food. So straight up there, get it, shove it in the pocket, you're sorted.
Well, you live and learn.
It was subject to availability, was it? Hashtag subject to availability.
There's small print on the pie voucher that says pre-match. It now says you are now this entitles you to a pie like pre-match. So if you go anytime after kick-off,
they've changed that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Without prior notice, so you can't now go and use your voucher at half time.
Nope. I was incandescent with rage, Tim.
I can imagine, John. I had to get on John. It could have been another.
Sausage roll gate.
Sausage roll gate. When they nicked them all before half time, when all the staff came and had them all. Wouldn't happen in the outfield, would it?
No chance. We won't be serving no shit pies in there.
I can't believe it's changed.
Get some of these Percy Sugden style glasses. Yeah, they have to. Yeah, Tim. Yeah.
That's a definite change without telling anybody.
Yeah. That's always.
Yeah, they do it all the time.
As I was told last time, it's on the website, club website, T's and C's. Read the small print.
Yeah, that's the first thing you do when you buy a ticket, isn't it? Go and look on the website for the T and C's and the small print. I do it every game just to double check. Which is the reason why I got mine before the game, because I've been on and checked, as you do. I thought I'm gonna make sure I get my pie. Not gonna turn up at half time like a mug and get told I can't have one.
I've been told off. Played 2. Told off in 2. Been 2 tellings off in the Moretti Lounge. Raggy, will I get told off for go to the Armfield for a pre-match drink?
No, you'll be encouraged.
Right, I'm there next game.
You're not doing very well, really, are you? You've got almost like Blackpool's away record. Your success rate in the Moretti. Never got a seat. This start on his pie.
Man.
What was the other? Oh, it was too hot.
No, I got told the website.
On there.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Why don't they just open the doors and get some fresh air in there?
It was flat beer, Aggie, as well. Oh, that was another thing. Well. I got a pint. I got my half-time pint. Just before second half.
You actually use your voucher for your half-time pint.
Well, yeah, don't let me use that. Yeah. I put it down. Half of it still left. Went for a piss, came back, and it had been cleared away. So I literally got half a pint, no pie,
and no pie.
I must say,
and boiled to death.
They got quite a good deal. They got quite a good deal on where you get 4 drinks, 4 bottles for 12 quid or whatever, which isn't so bad. And then I had to keep a close eye on it because every time they were like circling, wanting to take them. I'm going, whoa, we got drinks in there yet? Well, I had to say something out 3 times. Just like
didn't they charge you wrong actually, Tim? Didn't they overcharge you when you were at the bar as well? Because I was with you. Do you
they tried to. To be fair to the lad, I don't think he knew the deal was on, but I had to remind him that the deal was on. There's the only reason I was buying 4 because there's only 3 of us. And
five for a tenner in the Armfield bottles.
Oh, there we go.
Have you got that bottle bar open yet?
Yeah, 5 for a tenner. All the bottles.
We got the Seasiders podcast sponsored bottle bars never open when I go in.
Oh, you have to ask. It's only special people allowed to use it. The offers still are there though.
Yeah. Come on, fellas, get on with the Bloomfield. Okay, all right, fair dues. Fair
play.
Right, Blackpool 3, Bristol Rovers 1. Ollie Norburn, what a strike! Quite a funny story related to that. Ben Rose was sat with. As Norburn collected the ball just on the edge of the box, the words that came out of his mouth was, "He's not shooting. He never shoots from there, does he? He's not going to get shot away." 5 seconds later,
it was superb, wasn't it? It was.
Is it an absolute world?
Sometimes you got to just say, and actually, ironically, because normally when those goals are scored in the game, we have a really crap view in the north, but it's absolutely fantastic view because it bent away to the right, fairly late on, and just sort of plonked itself right in the top corner, and it was sublime, to be fair. If you're going to score your first goal for Blackpool, that's the way to score one. Just do with a few more.
And was it not Matt, Mitch, whatever we're calling him, that he didn't only just said before that game in that last pod about the how many shots Dougal has compared to Norburn?
He did.
Sure, he did.
Yeah.
Maybe they listened.
3 times as many, wasn't it? Something.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then boom, it's in.
Well,
but it was a cracking goal.
Dougal ain't going to increase those stats anymore, is he? Miss it.
Oh, that's it now. He probably got bollocked off Critchley for that.
What are you doing up there? What are you doing up there?
Recycle. You're supposed to recycle the ball when you get to that position. Back to Grimshaw.
Every credit to him. It's a good goal.
4 minutes later, John Marquis. equalising Tim in front of the North, and once again doing a goading celebration, which is part of the course these days, isn't it?
To us, I've noticed this. Every away team seems to get away with doing that, and yet we're always the ones in trouble, aren't we? I say we collectively as a fan base. We're the ones in trouble because if we react to it, but they've got no. I don't know. It's noticed our players doing that to the opposition at any point. Maybe Hillsborough, I think, had a little cheeky go at Oxford, but literally celebrating the way they do in front of the home fans, and it is goading. It's not the first time this season either, is it? It's probably the third or the fourth time. I think.
But I think they probably know about it. They probably look into these things like that and say get them at it. And quite well, say quiet them down. It'll rile it up, won't it, in the North?
They should be booked. The reality is they should be booked because
but I wish our players would do it more. Let's just start doing it, giving it out. We're too soft, but they're supposed to be booked, aren't they, for doing that kind of thing? But they never do.
Mm.
Unless you climb over the stand at Birmingham and sit in the stand like that Leicester lad did the other day.
I didn't see that.
What happened?
I can't remember who it was. Scored for Leicester, and he just climbed over the hoardings and basically just sat at the front of the stand.
I've not seen that.
In front of the Blues or his own fans.
In front of their
fans
fans.
for his own safety.
No, it wasn't. It was their fans. They were all running down.
Oh wow!
Yeah. No, it was funny. But yeah, well, whatever. You know, if I was at the front, I'd be giving them loads back. But
it's lucky you didn't do it near you, Raggy.
They go in front of E block. They've heard about A block. They don't do A.
Well, since McLean came over that way, no one's been back.
Jake Beasley, Tim scored with a minute gone in the second half.
Do you know? I left the Moretti because all the rest of our lot had all got beers in. I could see them come out. They hadn't quite kicked off. And I do like, I'm primarily there to watch the game, not to have a beer. So I said, I'll see you down there. And I walked down. I was just walking along the front up to my seat when it happened. So I actually had a fantastic view. And listen, I think on a number of levels, it's a good goal. The ball in's good from Dembele, I think, isn't it? And to be fair to Jake, listen, I'm not his greatest fan. I've got to say, cards on the table, but I thought he took the goal really, really well. And I think this is the conundrum with Jake Beasley is that he's arguably doing enough. I think he's doing enough at the moment to keep his place in the team. And when he didn't keep it for Burton, I was actually quite surprised because that was a good goal. He's brought it down on his chest, I think, if he did it, and then he's come inside the defender, and then he's buried it. And sort of what more do you want from your striker, really? I think it was a direct, effective move and something I wish we did a little more often.
I didn't see it because I was too busy looking for my 3/4 of a pint.
You were still trying to get your pie.
Where's my pint gone? Where's my pie? Oh shit! I've missed a goal.
So I actually I'd done a beeline, and so I actually made it. But so many people missed the goal; it was unbelievable. And it's always a problem with the 46 minutes, isn't it?
Yeah, Beasley said he shinned it in on his Tangerine TV post-match interview. I thought it was quite honest of him to say that. But I thought it was a great finish, though. That's what you do.
Listen,
you hit the ball into the ground, better where it's come from. That's what he did.
He's done the work, the way he's brought it down, and he's lost the defender, hasn't he? So he's created the space for himself. Whether it comes off his shin, his front of his foot, side of his foot, his elbow, I don't give a stuff. At the end of the day, he's created the space, and great ball in, to be fair, as well, I thought. And it was. I was literally like 5 yards away from him when he scored, and it was fantastic to see it close up, to be fair.
Finally, we've seen the game out. Raggy, Jordan Rhodes' goal. Again, it's one of those games where he's not been involved. He's not done that much, but as soon as that
Yeah,
ball,
well, it went.
as soon as that ball's played into him, you go goal, don't you? You think this is a
Yeah,
goal.
I can't remember if it was the keeper or centre half. He played it out to forward to Joseph, and he's played a good ball across, hasn't he?
Mm.
And he's stuck it through the legs, hasn't he, Rhodes? Looked like he meant every bit of it as well. Stuck it through the legs, just directed it back into that corner. Class finisher, isn't he? Other than
Good ball
Saturday,
from Joseph, to be fair, as well, wasn't it? It was good. Good. I think Dembele put the ball into Joseph.
Dembele, yeah, somebody, yeah. Yeah, it was. It was a good goal. And then he hits the target, doesn't he? That's the thing. Other than Saturday, not Saturday, Boxing Day, Rhodes hits the target with pretty much everything that comes his way. So he knew that was going in straight through the legs of that defender, and it was a good finish.
So happy days. We've all thought 3-1, and the main words, comments that was on everybody's lips as they were coming out the ground was there wasn't I wouldn't say, Tim, there was like a mood of jubilation per se. I think
it was a statement. It was a statement that that's what we can do, and I think we all. But I think everybody was in the view was right. Well, because listen, we've got a really poor record over Christmas. I don't know what the stats are, but every time I think of our Christmas games, I can't ever think of us winning all of them or getting close to winning all of them. So I think what we wanted to see was let's go to Burton and because we need to go on a run. We've spoken about the fact that we're a little bit of drift to where we need to be. And you need to go to Burton. You need to pull a result out. We then need to do the same against Port Vale, and we need to do the same against Lincoln. We do that, and we're back in the mix. Roll on 26th of December. What happens?
We were all saying it, Tim. This means nothing if we don't go to Burton and get a result.
Yeah.
Everyone was saying we have to kick on. We have to go to Burton and get a result. Burton have not. They're on a shocking run. Got no manager. Teetering.
Not once since October.
No one since October. Raggy, surely a game that we're going to win. You've obviously gone to Burton yourself in high hopes and had those hopes cruelly dashed once again by a diabolical performance.
Dashed within minutes in terms of knowing that we weren't going to be seeing anything exciting. I was still with my cousins watching that game, and from the first few minutes, it's like this is not good. We don't look like we're at it here today. And then that goal goes in, rubbish. If you watch it back, that ball goes out to that winger. How they've let him get it in the first place from the keeper, I do not know. And then I think it's Pennington and Hamilton dancing around, trying to block it coming in, like bleeding fairies. And I was sort of right in the left-hand corner of that stand behind the net, so it just seemed to go. I don't think that centre forward got a touch on it, did he? Don't think so.
No, nobody touched it.
I think he just bounced and went through, so God knows what was going on. Comical, but they just went. It went on, and just the more and more the game went on, the more and more I thought, well, there's nothing here. I kept saying, I might as well go now. Might as well go to a local pub now because I know this game's finishing 1-0.
Do you know, when that goal went in, what I was thinking was, obviously there's two. Again, I think we're probably going to discuss this a bit later. There's two notable absences in Dougal and Ekpiteta.
Yeah,
and we were, and I'm not going to. We were misled about the reason why they were both left out the first time.
Where's Ekpiteta? Sorry, I just genuinely don't know why he's not included.
Is he injured? We were told after the first game that because Ekpiteta played against Forest Green Rovers, to be fair, didn't he? Where Dougal didn't. But we were told they were both being rested after the first game, which is quite clearly a load of bollocks. Listen, let's call it what it is. It's a load of bollocks. That's what we were told after the first game. We're then told in relation to Kenny that he's got some personal problems, which is whatever it is, whether it is.
No, we were told rested first. No, Tim. We were told he's rested first. You don't remember?
We were told both of them were rested first. That's what I said. Then since then, we've been told that Kenny's got some personal issues to resolve, whatever they are. And listen, we don't know, so it's difficult to comment. there's all sorts of rumours about him joining the A-League or going to Thailand and all this business. But and his missus posting pictures flying over wherever it is in the Far East. But whatever it is, that doesn't apply to Ekpiteta. So whatever's going on with Ekpiteta, if Ekpiteta's saying I want to move in January, then I'd still play him. I don't know any other team who don't play the best players because they want to move. They keep them playing. And my immediate thought when that goal went in was, if Marv was playing, he was the player who was going to attack that ball, and he wouldn't have missed it. He would have cleared it. He would have dealt with it because that's what he does. That's what he's good at. I don't like it when he's in the middle and we're playing in the back three and they keep passing the ball into him and want him to act as the playmaker. But what Marv does do, and what Marv does incredibly well, is deal with situations. And he, in my view, as soon as that ball came in, I thought, why the fuck have we not got Marv in there? Because he'd have dealt with that. That would have been his ball. And we've not heard why Marv's not playing. And if it is that he wants away, then for me, I'd still be playing him. Because if he's your best player and he wants away, you don't stop playing. No other team stops playing the players because other teams are interested in them. And there might be bids coming in. It's the biggest lot of waffle you ever come across. Even suggest that. It's mad.
And if it is Ekpiteta wanting away, how have we ended up at that point? How have we ended up with that over the course of the season?
And how we ended up with a player. Listen, if Kenny wants away, and I think everybody on here knows what I think of him. He's a fantastic player, and if he generally wants away for personal reasons, I get it. But I wouldn't be letting it bog off until January. I'd be saying, look, you've got to stay here and play till January. And then we'll listen, listen, you've given us 3 years. We realise that you live on the other side of the world. If you want to return to that part of the world, then you go in January, but you play for us until then because we need to replace you. Now, if it's something else, it's something else. And that's the bit I can't
if you look at
comment
that,
on.
Tim, David Coleman just said someone has rumoured Marv to Huddersfield for Rhodes.
Well, listen, maybe, but you don't stop playing Ekpiteta. Huddersfield aren't turning around to us and say you can't play Rhodes because we might swap him for Ekpiteta, are they? Why don't stop playing a player just because we might? That would actually, I could understand it. I could understand that, but I wouldn't not play him because when we sell him, depending on how it works out, we might end up getting another player in and whatever. And particularly with Dougal, I've heard talk about some Blackburn player coming to us as a midfield player. You keep these players playing for you. I don't understand our mentality over it. Anyway, so going back to the 10th minute, that was my reaction. Marv would have had that.
Let's address this comment from Tangerine Army. Players have a good game and are then dropped. Connolly plays or comes off the bench every single game. Well, it's not every single game, but I get your point there. Ollie Casey, points, excuse the pun.
Of course. Listen, Connolly should be nowhere near the first team when all our players are fit. And he's playing too. So we're not going to go anywhere with players like that. He's a good, solid professional player, Connolly, isn't he? It's not often let us there, but he's there to do a role. If someone's out, come in for a game or two, do a role, move on, get the better player back in the team. He obviously favours him for some reason, but how you can favour Connolly as centre half when you've got Ekpiteta not playing, Casey on the bench, I have no idea.
Casey's a ball player. In the middle of that three, if you're going to play a back three, which I think most of us, if we were given the choice, probably wouldn't do. But if you're going to play that back three, the middle one of the three has to be able to play the ball and has to be comfortable on the ball. And no disrespect to Conley, but I don't think he's the best, is he? It's not what. If you're going to play him in that back three, you play him on the right hand side for me. That's where I put him. But like Raggy says, we've got two players who on anybody's assessment would be in the starting 11 ahead of Connolly. Neither of them are playing. One of them is on the bench and one of them's not even in the squad. Supposedly because he's being rested. Seemingly now because we might be taking an offer on him. But you don't... to me, I'm going to say what I think here. It's weak management. It's weak management because what he's actually thinking is, I don't want to upset other players who I will have when he's gone. This is what I think. I don't want to upset other players who I will have when he's gone, so I'll drop him because it's easier. And that to me is crap. That's not the way you manage. You manage your team by playing your best players. And if your best player is then going to move up a division in January, and listen, if that happens for Marv, I will stand back, give him a clap, and say you've done great for us for 3 years, just like we've done with Jerry, just like we've done with other players, with Bowler. They've done the job for us. That's what Blackpool should always be about. It should be about transitioning players from League 2 to Championship to Premier League and getting 3 years out of them and profit out of them. If we get profit out of them, even if it's by default by getting Jordan Rhodes, that's job done. So, but don't stop playing them. It's mental. It is. It just does. It defies explanation as to why you wouldn't play your best player over the Christmas period, because you might swap him for if this is true, because you might swap him for Rhodes in January. Mad.
Well, it is mad, but I think you're right with weak management because he's a coach. He's not a manager. Never will be. Never has been. He's a coach, and he hasn't got the backbone for it. And the bit about that people play on about needing a good assistant manager is it's just evidently always been true. When he's had strong assistants next to him, it's a lot better. He's got a pair of bleeding donuts next to him now, without Brunskill and Garrity. I mean, I had a quick look before at what actually their history is like. Garrity, Liverpool, and all the under whatever clubs and that alongside him. Brunskill, he'd been at Malta, Jordan under 18 national team coach, some Chinese Shanghai FC coach.
None of them. The point is, Raggy, none of them have played.
No, and they're not managed, and none of them are management material. None of them are strong managerial characters, and they're not.
For me, when Critchley's looked good, and I'm fully behind you with your point. He's had somebody who has played alongside him, who he probably respects and listens to what they say. I don't know these two guys, but I don't think they're ever going to be able to almost like pull rank on Critch and say, "Look, I play the game a bit, and this is the scenario, and this is what we need to do."
No
Calderwood
chance.
has been international. He's played as did McCall, both of them international footballers, albeit Scotland. And they've played a lot of Premier League football. Both of them, they both know what they're doing, and they will have valuable input in a game. And listen, I don't know this, but do you remember Graham Taylor when he had Phil Neal? Listen, Phil Neal had played a lot of football as well.
Just going to say, like Bradley Walsh,
just going, yes, boss. I agree with you, boss.
Just like Bradley Walsh out of the film. Yeah,
you don't want that. You don't want that. You want somebody who's actually going to stand up to you and say, Neil, think about this. Neil, what about that? Neil, what about that? You actually want somebody who's going to be your devil's advocate. And that's what makes a strong management team, not just somebody's going to go, yes, I agree with you, boss. Yes, I agree with you, boss. And I don't know they're doing it because I'm not sat there. I don't see him sitting en bloc to see it. But that's the impression.
They've no tactical nous between them, because as I keep watching, as I watched on Saturday, and one of the points I was making to my cousins while we were doing it is just keep replacing player for player here. No change in system, no change in tactics, no change in tempo. Just player, just changing player for player in the same position, doing the same job. And it isn't working. It wasn't working. It's not changing anything. And it's bizarre. And that back and forward, pass. I had a look back at the stats of the last 4 or 5 games before. And other than Bristol Rovers at home, who was pretty much shared the possession, we've had the possession. We've had 150 odd passes more than every other team we've played, only over the last 4 or 5 games, but it'll probably stack up over the season. And we've had everything more. but it's nothing. When I watch it, it's side to side at the back, side to side. It's not transitioning to the second third of the pitch. It goes back to Grimshaw more often than not, and then it gets lumped anyway. It's like we just waste a minute and a half, send it back, and then bang it up front.
And that's exactly what Wigan did to us. Wigan had 65% possession against our 35 and did absolutely nothing with it. And then with our 35, we were effective. And this, to be fair, this goes back to John's point about did you hear what Critchley said today? I sort of caught a bit of it, and it was along the lines.
He was justifying himself, Tim. It was like he was trying to justify his approach.
Yeah, but he was justifying he was going about possession, and the teams that win a lot of games have a lot of possession. Well, the teams that win a lot of games might have possession, but they don't have the possession the way that we do. If Burton sit back into just behind the halfway line and say you can have as much possession as you want in your own half, that's not good possession. That's pointless possession. Possession has to mean something. It has to have an end game. There has to be a purpose behind it. And the impression I get is that we almost like want possession for possession's sake. So we'll keep, as Raggy just said, we'll keep recycling. We'll go back to Grimmy, and then we'll go out to Pennington. Then Pennington will pass it back into the middle. Then it go out to Grimmy, to Hubby, and then Hubby will bring it back. That's pointless. Absolutely, we might as well who it upfield and put it in the last third. If you go back to, listen, I'm not Holloway's greatest fan, but what Holloway did was he would transition play effectively. He would take a punt, so he knew that all that possession stuff at the back was a load of rubbish. So he'd go diagonals. And he'd work on the basis that we might not get the first ball, we might get the second ball, but that would put us into the final third, and then we're going to be effective. And that's what effective possession is about. It doesn't have to be 65, 70% possession. It has to be possession in their last third and effective possession. And we have to be able to do stuff with it, not get it in these good positions and then pass it back and recycle it, to use Raggy's expression. And
something else, I think.
Doing.
Well, something else.
Nobody's taking a chance. Nobody's taking a chance. Nobody's taking a chance.
No, they're not. And something else, I think, as well. And we know he's had some good games this year, Hamilton, and we know that when he can have bad games as well. But when we're away from home, where their team's more likely to have a go rather than just sit back, we're nullifying his pace, playing him on that wing. He's running. And then he stops to try and come inside. He needs to be in the byline. I've seen it loads of times where he's almost 25 yards out, then he starts to come inside. He's missing 25 yards of the pitch with his pace to hit that byline, and it just bypassed the other fullback.
But also, if it's not Raggy, if it's not happening for him on the right, and it wasn't, you don't necessarily have to take him off the pitch. We've got Jordan Gabriel. Who can have a right good go down the right. You might say, well, let's just chuck him on the... You see it all the time with the decent teams.
Yeah.
They chuck an effective player onto the other side to nullify whatever the other team's done. But the problem is, every team knows at Blackpool, I think we've done it once this season where CJ's gone onto the left. But that's putting CJ onto his best foot, and it gives him the opportunity to do something different. So why not swap him?
He can hit the line. He can use the full length of the pitch on the left-hand side with his pace. No one will catch him. I just noticed it a bit on Saturday a few times where I'm thinking, go on then, go now, and then he's almost uses 5 yards of his pace and he has to stop.
And then he ends up dropping it back to the fullback. He drops it back to the fullback more.
That's it. He tries to run at the defender, but he's not bowler, so he can't.
Did you see that incident in the second half when Dembele's played him in on the right-hand side? And I think his confidence had been shot by this point. And he had 10 yards ahead of him to take. That's what you do. You take your space. You attack the space. And he just played it back straight away.
Yeah.
He just played it back.
Yeah. Because he's not... I
don't think he's a natural... Go on, Raggy.
I don't think he's a naturally gifted football player. He's just fast.
Play to his strengths, though, don't you?
Everyone knows it, don't they? Of him. He ain't running with the ball past.
Oh, shit, we've lost Raggy.
But I just think
Oh, he's back. Put another 50p in the meter, Raggy.
While he's just
I like
block him
Tim.
off while I'll pick up from where he was saying.
Go on,
But
then.
it is a good point in that, you know, it wasn't his game. Sometimes you've got to hook somebody if it's not their game and give somebody else a chance. We've got Gabriel, who's a fantastic footballer, one of the best footballers I think we've got at the football club. And yet he doesn't seem to be able to break back into the team. And the reason he's not able to break back into the team is because we've got this obsession with playing CJ at right wing back. He isn't a right wing back. He's a right winger. So we're shoehorning him into a wing back role because it can be effective. But we've got other options. You know, we've got other options where we'd say, right, well, and listen, I don't think Andy Lyons had the greatest. I like Andy, but I don't think he had his greatest game on Saturday. So put CJ on the left and bring Gabriel on. And I don't think we think out of the box enough. I think
although Tim, Lyons is he's a right back and he's a right wing back as well, really. He's been playing out of position.
Well, he is, but
he
does play a fair bit on the left, doesn't he, to be fair? So what I'm saying was, because I mean, I'd had a little bit, you know, when Ashley had his bit of a rant, I sort of came back a bit with a few things. And one of them was the fact that we don't play players in the right position. We keep, you know, we've got this obsession with inverting them so that they come inside, but they rarely do come inside. They actually go outside and then are less effective. But the point I was making was, if you're going to play Lyons to the left and he's not having a great game, you've got the opportunity to put CJ there if you want to keep him on. And I would have probably hooked it. But if you're going to keep him on, put him on the left and give. Jordan Gabriel, he's like literally, for me, he's in the top 5 players we've got. And
he was ill apparently at Burton.
Well, he might. Well, okay. Well, I didn't know that, which obviously might well have affected the decision making. So.
But I take your
but
point.
It's not been ill in other games when he's been left on the sideline, has he?
Yeah. I think the valid point you're making is that it wasn't working with CJ. It wasn't his day. He didn't change it at all.
Doesn't change it, but he never does. All we ever do, again, Raggy's point is, and it's a
like for like changes.
Unbelievably valid one is, all we ever do is say, we'll take that right wing back off and we'll put another right wing back off. We don't change the system. We never change the system.
2 subs, Tim. Casey for Pennington, enforced change on 46. The only other change was 63 minutes, Beasley for Joseph, like for like. It clearly wasn't working this game. No. It needed a formation change. It needed personnel change. And all he did was a like-for-like change, as we've said before.
And he seems to be completely against the prospect of going 4-3-3 or 4-4-2. He just seems to be obsessed with his system. Not a system that he was particularly obsessed with last time round. It was always generally 4-3-3, wasn't it? Or 4-4-2. We always used to go, didn't we? Play fucking 4-4-2.
Yeah.
And when he did it worked incredibly well. And yet he's come back, whether because Stevie G thinks it's a good idea or what, I don't know. But he seems to come back thinking that 3-5-2 is the way that we need to play. But we haven't got the players for it.
To me, Tim,
so
I was thinking about this today. I was just thinking of the 4-4-2 formation that was played. Then my mind started wandering to Critchley, thinking, why does he constantly play this formation when we've clearly not got the players to do it? Why? What have you got to lose just by changing it round and experimenting in the odd game here and there? And it telegraphs tactics to your opposition. It telegraphs your formation. It telegraphs how you're going to play. And these away teams, these so-called poorer teams that we've been playing, they can just set up easily and counter the threat by doing what they've been doing.
They send the scouts to the game before and they say, well, whatever they're going to do, they're definitely going to play that system. They're definitely going to play CJ on the right. They're definitely going to do this. They're definitely going to do that. If we press at them, if we go at them on the back 3 that's a bit wobbly, they'll likely concede a goal. If you get really tight on CJ, he won't do anything. As long as you've got a covering player behind in case the odd time he'll get past. he'll basically show him outside because he hasn't got a right foot.
High press, force them to go long, deal with the second ball.
Some of this stuff isn't rocket science. It's stuff you do at junior football, isn't it? If you know the opposition you're playing, if you had somebody turn up and said, "Bar, these are the players you need to deal with, and this is what they'll do," then you set out to negate it, particularly when you're further down the league and you are concerned that you're going to lose the game. So what you do is someone like Portsmouth will just play their own game. And that's why we actually undid them as it happened. But a lot of these teams are thinking, shit, we need to stop Blackpool playing because we know CJ's fast. We know Rhodes is the most prolific striker in the league. We know this, we know that, we know that. So they're looking at how to negate us.
But he should be thinking of a way.
We're telegraphing it. We play the same way every single game. And it doesn't matter who's in there. It's exactly the same system. We never mix it up. And to be fair, the first time round he did mix it up. Not as much as we wanted sometimes.
He mixed it up as soon as Colin Coldwood appeared, Tim. He started mixing it up when it's 4-4-2 when Coldwood appeared. And that's when we had success.
Here's something for you. These three clowns have been together now as a team. So the last 46 league games that they've managed, so a whole season, some of it here, some of it at QPR, 46 league games, 13 wins, 14 draws, 19 defeats. 46.
Great,
no, not great.
I'd be interested to know how many of those games they played 5-3-2.
Yeah, I mean, we can look right into it, but they've 13 wins. They've 13 wins in the season between them.
Not great, is it? It's almost relegation form.
Well, well, it is. I know you can say, well, some of that's in the Championship. There's all them things. I know that. I know you can bend statistics all ways you want. But we have had now 24 of their games in League One with supposedly the most expensive striker in the division, with supposedly the top budget or top 6 budget, whatever that means. And that the stats are still there.
Raggy, we've got the most prolific striker in the league.
Yeah.
Statistically, we have.
Yeah.
I think we've got one of the most exciting players in the league in Dembele. Some of the stuff he was doing at Bristol Rovers was absolutely insane.
Yeah.
The outside of his foot and bending it round.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic. It took some convincing to start him, but now he does start him. To be fair, he's effective, but you need to build around him a little bit, I think, in order to make it work. He needs because I
can't do everything, can he?
The ball a bit. No, he can't. And we've got a team full of players with championship experience. So I sat here at the beginning of the season, even without having Rhodes and even without having Dembele, thinking we're going to be right up there. And we should be up there. And
so
I know there's people questioning whether the team are as good as we think they are. I think as a squad, I think most teams in the division, and maybe Bolton and Portsmouth accepted, I think most teams in this division would swap their squad for ours.
So it's manager and his tactics then?
I generally think it is. I genuinely think it is. I look at the people we've got. I think there's no way teams have got players as good as us. They haven't.
Yeah.
There's no way. We know 100% no team's got a striker as good as Rhodes.
Yeah.
And do we really think there's players knocking around in Division 1 that are as good as Dembele? Because, I mean, listen, at Bristol Rovers, he set up 2 of the 3 goals.
Burton would have been even more embarrassing had it not been for Dembele.
Yeah, he was probably our most effective player there. And is it down to desire? Is it down to tactics? Are the players buying into what? Are the players not really happy with this system? I don't know, but I look at the team.
We look too soft. We're too soft.
There's no enforcer in there, is there?
No. The whole team's too soft. They get pushed around too easily. Too soft. Some real soft injuries, but I won't go into them. But I can't have people having sore necks and stuff like that and staying out. Ridiculous when you're a central midfielder. But we're too soft. We're not up for the fight. Not up for it when it starts to get rough. Definitely not. And that probably tells in the teams that we're not winning, we're not beating, sorry, or getting beat off, that we think we should be beating, because we're not doing that first part, matching them for effort and desire. We didn't do it on Saturday. I don't care. They can take a lot of the blame on Saturday. The players, for me. I keep saying Saturday. I mean Boxing Day.
You forget what day it is over Christmas, don't you?
Yeah. I don't even know what day it is now. I don't know. Wednesday or something. I don't know. Yeah, not good enough. Not trying hard enough, if you want to use that phrase. Because
I think
going
it's more
through
the
the
way
motions
set
a
up,
lot.
Raggy. I think it's more
It might
the way
be, but they're not buying into it. But it might be they're not buying into it. But they're not. We're weak. We're weak, and the players are better than that. So if we're in agreement that we've probably got one of the best teams and squads, it should take over in some of these games by course. That we beat them because we're better than them, but we're not matching them.
Well, we
in
do
them
it at
first
home.
parts.
We've got this.
Do it at home.
We've got this.
Maybe they're scared of travelling.
Situation where we've got. I think we are if not the best stats at home, very much right up there. Promotion form stats at home. I think we were.
Yeah.
Well, last I heard, we were the best. And then
Yeah.
I think we're 14th in the league when it comes to away form stats. And
maybe
the
they're scared
results
of
we've
going away.
had,
I don't know.
the results have had a bit at Barnsley and Portsmouth, both of whom were ahead of us in the league at the time. And we haven't beaten anybody, I believe, below who was any higher than 7th.
Yeah.
What's all that about?
Well,
I mean,
it's
we're not
it's
talking a
either
couple of games now, are we? We're talking.
Yeah.
What,
It's
12
obvious.
games?
Yeah.
12 games, away games, and 10 of those against teams below us in the league, and we haven't won one of them.
So the tactics are all wrong. The desire's not there to do it.
It's a rather damning statistic, that, isn't it?
I don't believe it's desire, Raggy. I think it's motivation, and I think it's believing in the system. So all roads point to the management team for me.
Yeah, well, I won't argue.
I don't think they believe in it.
I don't like him anyway, but I'm just trying to. Sometimes the players.
But you look at that Burton team.
We can't have no shots on target at Burton.
Raggy,
we can't have no shots.
Any one of that Burton team playing for us, I would have had one of them.
No. We were superior in every way. Individually, player-wise.
Beslabala and Jake Caprice, both starters.
We can't have no shots on target.
No, we can't. And listen, that's not the first game this season we've had no shots on target. There's probably half a dozen games this season where we haven't had a shot. How the hell, as a professional football team, you can go into any game and not have one shot on target? When if you're not in one of the bottom teams, you're like mid-table. It's beyond me. It's frankly beyond me. And that tells me your systems is crap. You need to completely rip it up and start again, because that system is. But I said
he won't go, Tim. He won't.
It's
he won't,
absolutely shite if you go into away games and don't have one shot. It can't be right. Yeah. It cannot be right. No way. Because you've got one of the best strikers in the league, and he needs to have shots. If you don't get the ball to him, so you don't have shots, you're not going to win games. It's just he shows when you get the ball to him, he does it. He scores goals. Yeah, but I don't think I think John's 100% right. I don't think the players believe in this system, but it's bizarre how it varies between home and away games. And I think what happens with a lot of the teams that we play who are lower down the league is that they sit and they soak up what we bring at them and they hit us on the break because they know we're vulnerable at the back. And I think they do that deliberately, where Portsmouth won't and Barnsley won't and Oxford won't, because they've got another agenda, haven't they? They're playing their own game. So we can sometimes we'll look a bit better against them because this space behind, and CJ will get behind, and Rhodes will have some space, and we'll get some shots off. But if we come up against a team in the lower half who just park the bus, we've got no plan B. We can't do anything. So, bar fluke goal, we ain't going to win the game.
Which is when you want to shoot. If someone's sitting in, shoot. After Norman's goal, you would have thought he'd have been chomping at the bit to shoot in the next game. Nothing.
He was appalling in that Burton game.
Yeah. Well, they all were, to be honest with you. But
there's only Dembele came out with any credit in that game.
Yeah.
I thought the body language looked really bad.
It did. It looked like we were beat from the start. That's what I was saying. All game, I just thought, I know where this is going. And then every change made was just a player for a player in the same position. Nothing tactically changed. So he just had the same thing. I think we had about 10 minutes of a better opportunity towards the end where we were kicking balls into corner a little bit. We were playing some diagonal balls and we seemed to get a little bit somewhere, but still never culminated in a shot on target.
Michael did specifically ask as well, John, that you put some of his comments up. So I'm glad to see you did, because he had a go at me at Facebook before and said, "Can you have a word? Can you have a word in John again?"
Well, Michael, make relevant and pertinent and well thought out, structured comments, and you will make it on the screen. And that's naturally happened there. Tim did not prompt me to put
the infamous Little Kev. This is, by the way.
The team is playing the mirror image performances as he was here.
A box of toys.
Coldwood to the club. He's absolutely right, though, isn't he?
100%. 100%.
Yeah, we got to be careful though, because loose lips sink chips.
The question is, how does it change? I can't see.
Mix up your tactics, mix up your formations, try different things.
No, but we've seen this from the first time round. Critchley's actually quite stubborn in the way he plays. And listen, everybody plays Nottingham in the back four where they had better players to play. It says it all. And he stuck with him, and even though it wasn't working, he needs that person. And I think unless we get that person, we're going to be talking about exactly the same issues come April, come May, come whatever, because I don't think it's going to change. Because, and I'm not having a go at the two guys because I don't know them, but at the moment, I don't think there's anybody who is telling Critchley this isn't right and you need to change it. Most certainly nobody who is prepared to listen to. And I think he listened to Calderwood. I think he listened to McCall. So that says to me you need an experienced number two who's played at a high level.
Do we think he'll do that? Do we think we'll have?
See, this is where it gets interesting, because you've got the dynamics. Because in Critchley's mind, he might be thinking, well, I might have needed that when I was a rookie manager, but now I'm an experienced manager and I've been at QPR and I've been at Villa, and I don't need that anymore. Where the reality is, I think he still does, because he hasn't played at high level, and none of us have, and none of us know what input somebody who's played at high level can bring into the dressing room.
We can see what's happened in these two
spells.
The two most successful spells of Neil Critchley's managerial career at Blackpool have coincided with having somebody who's played in the Premier League and international. So that tells me something's got to change, because at the moment, without that voice in his ear, we're going to carry on. It's going to be rinse and repeat. Rinse and repeat. Bit of fun for everyone watching and listening to this stream. Winning from being behind is the banner. We know this because we've been discussing this in the green room on the patrons chat. If you want to join the WhatsApp patrons group, become a patron of the show, patreon.com/seasiders-pod. Anyone in the comments, when did we last win a game when we were behind in the game? And
I was there.
Shocked
That's
and
your hint.
surprised. I was there. We were there, Tim, weren't we? Weren't there together? No, David, it's not Wembley 1953.
Not far off, though.
I'll give everyone a clue. It was a balmy October's evening in a city.
Evening, afternoon.
Afternoon. In a
I
city.
wasn't with you either, so you don't remember this particularly well.
Yeah, in Raggy's colour, which is sky blue. In a city that you get sent to.
And where we had some divvy commercial director sent to us from.
Raggy's best mate.
Yeah. Some right dipstick.
It was.
Hey!
It was the high.
We have a winner. We have a winner. Aspinator. Who may or may not be related to me. That's right, Aspinator. Big Dog's got it. Gurney's got it. Coventry away.
Arndale.
It was all looking quite rosy at that point, wasn't it, with Appleton?
Coventry away. Yeah. So October last year. Incredible. That's over a year ago. And it was, Tim. We'd just beaten the Nobbers. We'd just beaten Coventry away. Things were rosy.
I went down to West. I remember going down to West Brom when I wasn't going to go.
Oh, we both did. Do you not remember?
Yeah.
Yeah. That all sold us the trip to West Brom. I think they were really struggling at the time, and an absolute shocker of a performance we put in.
Yeah, and it was all downhill from there. And
it still is.
I would never get Mick. Oh, it can get worse.
Oh, it can get worse. Can't get any worse, Mick, can it? Oh, it can. Oh, it can. Watch this. Hold my coat. Oh, dear. We've not stopped.
Mad Mick.
We're still going. We're still going. Got the Boswells in now.
Do you reckon in Critchy's house he's got like a ceramic chicken? Oh, I know, the training ground.
Yeah.
A ceramic chicken, and they all chuck in their
Boswell
coaching thoughts. They don't put the money in; they put their coaching thoughts for the game. And on every single piece
Joey,
of paper,
Billy, and Boswell running the show.
On every piece of paper, it says 3-5-2, 3-5-2, 3-5-2. Inverted wingers, inverted wingers, inverted wingers.
CJ on the right. Don't play a player who's thinking about leaving the club ever.
Gone off again, over.
No, you won't. No, you won't. No, still here, Maggie. Still here. Oh, have we lost him? He's sadly frozen. So let's move on to Port Vale then. Tim, I'll just kick Raggy off. I'll bring the team predictor up. I was going to go to Port Vale on the basis of the performance and result at Burton. Port Vale Friday, bizarrely a Friday evening kickoff, very late. So I was going to go. Had we put it in at Burton? So that's made my decision. I'm definitely not going to watch a bunch of players just passing it around the back five and then lump it. So I'm not going.
Meant to be, as I said before at the beginning, I was meant to be away and I'm gone. And there's a bit of a family do tomorrow night where I could make me excuses if I wanted to, and Mrs. might tut at me, but would probably let me go. But after watching that on Boxing Day, it doesn't exactly encourage you to push the boundaries with your other half, does it? And which I will be doing, which I've done. Literally, I've done it year in, year out for the last 30 years. When I want to go to a game, I go to a game, and then I'm thinking, do I really want to actually
get a load of shit when I get in for watching a
watch it
laborious back three, passing it amongst themselves,
now.
playing it into Norburn, who's waving around saying, "I've got no options," then going back to Grimmy and him lumping it forward.
Yeah, so to answer Richard, what I'm going to the family do, and I may just tune in on Tangerine TV at some point. I don't know, but actually, I wasn't meant to be there anyway, and I'm thinking maybe just leave it to the morning because I don't think it's going to be good. Because we know what system. Well, it won't be that system, John. Whatever happens, it
Right,
won't
Tim.
be that.
So as ever, right, this is our system. What we want to pick. So
yeah. So are we going to deviate from the 3-5-2?
Yeah, this is what we pick. So
go on.
Let's pick our own team, and I'm going to go for 4-4-2. I've got one in my head already, so let's have a conversation about this.
Right, so you're ahead of me. So one of the discussion points, which hasn't been a discussion point this year, is Grimmy and see, I don't actually blame him for that goal against Burton. I think it should have been taken out by Connolly.
What about the Bristol Rovers goal? What irked me about that was this new fad way of playing football is they never have a man on the near post anymore, and they also never leave anyone up front.
Well, to be honest, I said that at the time. I'd forgotten about it, to be honest, since. But I remember saying to the guys at the time, because they were saying that Grimmy was at fault there. I said, well, why is Grimmy at fault? Because the ball's come in, nobody's attacked the front post, the ball's dropped down, and then it's been bashed past Grimmy. So I don't actually see that as Grimmy's issue. I see that as a positional issue in relation to the way that we've set up. But you should have somebody on the front post. Of
course you should.
How many times does a corner come just short?
Any player that's technically competent at taking corners can whip one into the near post quite easily.
Yeah. Well,
and
listen,
if you're relying on your goalie to cover that, which shouldn't be,
we do struggle with beating the first man, don't we? But if there isn't the first man to beat,
well, Blackpool aside, obviously, Tim.
Anyway, so on that basis, I'm still putting Grimmy in there.
Yeah, I've got faith in Grimmy. I'm not dropping Grimmy. Right, let's do fullbacks first. So we've got Lyons and we've got Gabriel and we've got Hubby.
MB's making a good point. Where does Dembele fit into this system?
He plays in the 10. Plays just behind.
Unless you go 4-3-3.
We'll stick to 4-4-2. Don't complicate it, MB.
Right,
Come on.
Right, well, I'm going 4-4-2,
Raggy.
I'm Gabriel right back.
Internet keeps throwing me out. I think it's the weather.
It's another superstorm in South.
Yeah, supercell.
Gabriel right back for me.
Blackpool Tower's on fire. We're having supercell storms. The end is nigh. We're wasting our precious few days that we've got left on this planet here, aren't we?
It's fake news. Don't worry. Fake news.
Apparently, Port Vale lost 5 of the last 6 games at home according to Big Dog. So it's going to be 2 out of 7 now, isn't it?
Lump on them, then. Lump on.
Well, another cry for 4-3-3. That's Raggy. Just in case you.
I think it's 4-3-3.
Sorry, Tim. Go on. Just in case you didn't know, Raggy, we are ditching the 5-3-2, 3-5-2, and we're picking our own formation for Port Vale. I said 4-4-2.
Yeah, well,
Tim and Matthew Warner have said 4-3-3. So yeah,
I'll go with you on 4-4-2, especially because Tim's mentioned Phil Neal already, who Bradley Walsh played in Mike Bassett, England manager, and it was 4-4-2, wasn't it? That's where we needed to be.
Exactly.
So it's staring us in the face. It's already shown its hand. Yes, boss.
God, Raggy's reappeared. Right, 4-4-2. So, Andy Lyons at right back for me.
Ooh.
With Hubby goes into left back. Anyone got a problem with that?
Ignoring my call for
Gabriel.
Gabriel.
He's injured though, isn't he?
Is he actually? Is he not going? He was ill 3 days ago.
All right.
Well, go on. I'll stick with you.
Go on. No, I'm happy to debate it.
I pick Gabriel, to be honest.
If
If we're going for our best team that I think it is, then Gabriel right back.
Are you the same, Tim?
Right.
Yeah.
And I would play Andy Lyons left back.
Right. Okay.
Or
Who'd you play
Dave.
left back? Who'd you play left back, Reggie?
Andy Lyons.
Right. Okay. Hope he's getting binned off then, is he?
Well, he might play
We go.
in the back four.
He could do. Hubby and Casey. What about Hubby and Casey? Because Pennington's probably going to be injured, isn't he? Or Marv?
Yeah.
Marv's decent in the back four, though.
Yeah. Well, I would personally play Marv and Casey, to be fair. Assuming everybody's eligible to play when somebody's showed some interest in purchasing them.
Maybe that's why we've got 7 out with illness. Maybe someone's shown some interest in them. Oh no, they're ill now. They're ill.
Let's assume Pennington's injured then. Hubby
Yeah,
and Casey.
I'm thinking are they the best we've got? I think so. Yeah.
Dave Dixon is right. Hubby's not been at his best for the last few games. He hasn't, after being one of our best defenders. I agree with
he hasn't. He hasn't.
But if Marv's fit, you play Marv and Casey, don't you?
Yeah.
Because Marv is far better in the back four. Far better.
Yeah.
But if listen, Hubby said if Marv's not fit, isn't he?
Okay. Into the midfield. Tim, kick us off.
Have we got a first class flight ticket back from Thailand for Kenny Dougal or not?
Yep, I have just purchased it. First class. He will be arriving on the tarmac tomorrow morning.
Right, Kenny Dougal's
Blackpool
in
International Airport.
Kenny Dougal's in then.
Yep.
He's our player. He should be here.
I was thinking Sonny Carey or Morgan.
See, I think Morgan's been a bit harshly treated, to be fair, because I think generally he's played, he's looked all right. Yeah. And he's one of these players, and going back to my repost for to Ashley when he made his drunken post the other night, was we're not playing the right players. Players don't play, and then other players play automatically. So Norman comes in and starts straight away, where other players would never come in straight away. They'd always have to work their way back into the team. And I find it incredibly frustrating because I actually think he's done okay for us. So I actually think there's a case to be made for him. But I'm still a bit troubled with the 4-4-2 because of where Dembele fits into it.
Yeah, I was just thinking that myself, to be honest. But...
See, I would either go 4-2-3-1 or 4-2 or 4-3-3.
Well, let's go 4-3-3 then. Kenny's in the mid-loves. Where are you playing Dembele then? Up there.
Well, I would personally play him in that 3, but these two wide players would be playing a little bit deeper, so the way it looks will be slightly different.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
so
I don't
people
know.
say Dembele in the 10, but we saw that at Bolton. Did it work that well? I don't know. Not sure.
No, I think you're right. Him slightly in front of the other two. But who's the other one? Norman.
Morgan, I think.
I think Morgan.
Yeah.
Isn't it best to have Kenny in the middle?
Yeah, you need to just rejig it a little bit.
Yeah,
what you can do. It's almost like a 4-2-1, or even a 4-4-1-1 even probably works because the
4-2-3-1.
Well, I'd probably say 4-4-1-1.
I haven't got
Because
that on the graphic though,
players,
Tim.
the two wide players are going to have to tuck in. So Dembele's almost got a free roll. Jordan Rhodes is in front of him, and then you've got two wide players who are coming in. How far they're up the pitch is up to who we're playing and how well we're doing.
Dembele plays in the 9 there, then, doesn't he?
Yeah, he moves into the 9.
Yeah.
So on that basis, I would then put CJ on the left.
Which is natural position. What about Owen Dale? I think he's been quite harshly treated, to be honest. Rhodes obviously is going in.
Yeah.
Final right mid. About Joseph. There's a bit of chaos.
It's concerned me a little bit the last couple of games, but I still sort of believe that there's a player in there. And I think you've got to decide. You've got to decide whether you give him a chance to shine. Can he play on that right hand side a little bit further back? I think he probably can. The other alternative would be to shuffle the pack a bit. You could play Lions further forward, or you could and then put Hubby bit in that left back spot. Could Dale excuse my ignorance, is Dale right-footed?
I think he's left.
That's not quite going to fit then, is it, to play Dale there?
Joseph or Carey for me. It's Joseph or Carey for me. Though.
Yeah. You're probably right. I quite like Carey because I think he keeps possession quite well for us. And he's got a shot on him. So, unless you're going to revert to Hamilton to right and put Dale on the left, which is an option, unless you're going to do that, I think you've got to go Carey.
We want to see CJ on his natural side, though, don't we?
Well, I think so. I think it's bloody time.
Yeah, give that a go, eh?
I think if I've got a concern, is it's almost whether you almost like saying to Hamilton and Carey, you're supporting Rhodes, and then leaving Dembele to do just giving him a free role, aren't you?
Yeah.
You're giving him a free role. So while they look like they're out wide, they're not really. They're actually more central, and Dembele's just picking the ball up and going where he wants with it.
Mr. David Ragazzino's just made a comment. I'm just trying to log back on, but don't have Joseph in that team. FFS, he's garbage.
He's the most expensive. He's the most expensive player in League One.
Just had this idiot making this comment, Raggy. Just had this idiot making this comment.
I have to make that point. Yeah, I don't. This year's Joe Nuttall. Cheers, Joe Nuttall, I'm afraid. People want it to be true, but it's not. You've seen it. Beasley's a better player than him. Miles better. Miles more effective.
We've not picked him anyway. There we go.
The thing is, Raggy, you predicted that he would never start for Blackpool FC.
Yeah.
So
maybe it was something I was wishing for. I don't know. I did. Well, it was farcical anyway, isn't it? Like anything, like planning permission takes in this town.
It takes a long time to plan permission.
It takes treble the amount of time anything in this club and this town. Get a player fit, treble anyone else's. Get a deal over the line, treble anyone else's. Try and get a training ground, treble the time of anyone else's. You might say bullshit in the end, but I don't want to upset Simon. He's only been here 5 years now.
That team we've just chucked together cannot do any worse than against Burton.
I think Shape scored.
We need McCarthy. Get a McCarthy little clip there for moments like that. We just throw him on. It can't do any worse than Burton. Oh, it can. Oh.
Where's TC and his iPad when you need him?
TC, he's too busy getting a tune out of Joseph. Bring TC in, he'll get a tune out of him.
That was a great comment, that wasn't it?
TC.
Right, just before we go, then. How are we going to get on against Port Vale? A, who's going to go? Who's going? And B, how are we going to get on? Tim, you might be going if Mrs. Tim.
I'm not. I know.
Your brownie points.
Listen, there's a coach going from Polton, but you've got to sign a declaration.
Waiver. A waiver.
A declaration of support for the ownership and the manager before you get on. I'm only joking.
You have to book in advance to book on the coach.
No, in all seriousness, no, I'm not going to actually. I wasn't planning to go. I was meant to be away. There's a family do, which was
not with in-laws, is it? Like you're not doing a Smith, are you?
Oh,
like
it's an in-law do. It is an in-law do, but it's a birthday, so I think I'm going to play the game and just like rather than I don't want to go through what all the lads went through at Burton. I've seen like George Robinson and his reaction post-match, and I'm not quite cured, but away games are not a good place to be as a Blackpool fan at the moment. I think we've been, bar Portsmouth, which I missed, and bar Barnsley, which I did fortunate enough to go to. It's been a very soul-destroying experience this season, I think, watching Blackpool away. So
ridiculous.
Giving myself grief with the misses to go and do it just for the sake of doing it doesn't quite compute at the moment. And that's not
jacket with every seat. Tony Lawson.
That's not me either. I'm normally like there with bells on, but it's crap. The reality is it's crap to watch. It's soul destroying. It's a waste of money.
Tim. It's expensive.
Listen, it's a waste of money. You know, saw Brian Clark speak about 82 quid for his for his tickets, and you think, you know, we're all spending decent money, and you know, I know everybody on Raggy's coach on Boxing Day will know that I've got on there, and then we watch that, you think it actually ruins your Christmas.
That performance was a piss take. Yeah, it did.
It ruins.
It ruined our. Yeah, it ruined our.
Just ruin the day. It ruins like a lot more than that.
It does. We're invested, aren't we?
I don't think I want the negativity of it, to be honest.
Yeah, it's a good point, Tim. Yeah.
No, you're right, and there's no way I'm going. It was one of them. I'll go if we win today. That's what I said on against Burton. I'll go if we win today, but nah, not now. No chance. Don't want to watch it.
Yeah, I don't blame anyone.
Don't want to watch.
Going
Sorry,
to that.
go on.
So I don't blame anybody for not going.
And it's not. It's all right. Some people can go, "Oh, fickle fans, this, that." It's not that. It's right. We're more invested than just, "Oh, we've got to be. I'll get over it in an hour." It pisses you off for days on end. And I've been pissed off since I got back from Burton, so I don't really need pissing back off again tomorrow. Just at least if I'm not there, I'll be pissed off, but at least I don't have to travel back.
Yeah,
these away fixtures over Christmas for us for a number of years now have been absolutely dreadful.
Oh, it's a joke.
In that we're away on Boxing Day, they were away the next game, so it's just like
we've upset the powers that be, Tim, over the years. You know this. This is what happens. With the last one picked out, who gets the shit draw at Christmas? Blackpool, sod it.
Boxing Day used to be about derbies, didn't they? That's
yeah.
You'd expect us to be at Wigan,
Burnley, whoever,
whatever. Obviously, it was everything in our league at that moment in time. But you'd expect they're the games you should be getting on Boxing Day, not schlepping down to Burton.
You're probably right, Raggy. We have, The EFL don't like us.
Well,
Hull away last year, wasn't it? Hull away.
Yeah, it was. It went to that as well. It stands to reason. Someone will be upset. Someone will be pissed off, saying "fucking." I remember them shouting loud.
They put that
Yeah.
banner up outside our headquarters.
Yeah, of course. Well, it happened. I'd do it to someone if they pissed me off. But
Right. Just before we go, then, give us your match predictions. Let's do 2. First one is on Neil Critchley's tired 5-3-2 formation, and the other one's on our dynamic 4-2-3-1. Tim.
2-0 defeat with the first. 2-1 win with the second.
Dave.
what's the second one? Lincoln.
So you've got to give 2 predictions.
No.
First one's Neil Critchley's team that will be picking, which is obviously the telegraphed 3-5-2. And the second one is based on the team we've just picked there.
Well, I said I can't remember what I said whenever I said it, that in the next 5 games, it'd be typical. We're going to win 2, draw 1, lose 2, because that's what we do. That's how it's going to be. So I'd say this one's going to be a draw. This will be one of the draws. We beat Bristol Rovers, we lost to Burton, we'll draw now, we'll beat Lincoln, and we'll lose the one after that. That'll be how it. That's be how it rolls. So I'd say we'll draw it 1-1, and
what about
the
our
team
team?
we
It's like a roadmap of our season, that, Raggy.
Yeah. Of course it will. That's the pattern it's following. That's
draw 1,
that's
lose 1.
That's what it is. So yeah, so it is, isn't it?
Exactly.
So
a tempo of a beat. Win 1, lose 1, draw 1.
Seven-ish points every 5 games. That'll be it.
We've only managed twice all season to win back-to-back games, which is
yeah.
fairly
Well, we've got to win 2 now.
And we get
to win
giddy
back-to-back
each time
games.
we do that, don't we? We get giddy thinking we're actually going to do something.
Forgot to look at the league table, just very quickly before we go.
We're still 8th, as everybody keeps saying.
Mm.
We're 8th, but we're 8th with a bit of a gap and having played more games, aren't we? So it's a lot of catching up to do. Apparently, we're still ahead of where we were in 2020, 2021, but I'm getting a bit tired of that now, to be honest, because
In fact, yeah, the league table can piss off. I'm sick of seeing it.
I'm getting a bit tired of it
irrelevant.
because the chances of us putting together a run like that at the moment are somewhere
0.
between
With this away
0
form,
and
forget
next to
it.
0.
Yeah. With these performances. Right, Raggy's disappeared, so I think we'll call it a day there. I'll stick the outro music on.
I hope everybody's found that therapeutic. I have.
Yeah, we're on 90 minutes. How apt 90-minute podcast on.
Have we had a shot on
Thursday.
target yet?
Have we had a pod on target?
Yeah.
Matthew Warrender says we'll beat Lincoln City 2-1. What? Do you mean Port Vale? I'll go for Critchley's team 2-0 defeat, our team 3-0 win. And on that note, a positive note. Thanks for watching. Thanks for downloading.
Come on, the pool.
Go the pool. Yeah, whatever.